lost time in the Gobi. Dr. Elias Carter wiped the sweat from his brow as he stood in the heart of the Gobi Desert. The wind howled across the dunes, whispering secrets of ancient creatures that once roamed this land. He had spent years searching for fossils of Tarbosaurus and Velociraptors. But today, he had uncovered something far more astonishing: a perfectly preserved crystal, pulsing with an eerie glow. As he touched the strange artifact, the ground beneath him trembled. The air grew thick, and a blinding light consumed him. When the light faded, the heat of the desert had changed, not just in intensity, but in nature. The horizon, once barren, was now filled with lush greenery, towering ferns, and distant volcanoes belching smoke into the sky. The realization hit him like a thunderclap. He had traveled back in time. The sound of a deep, guttural growl sent shivers down Elias's spine. He turned slowly, his heart hammering. A Tarbosaurus, the apex predator of this land, loomed before him. Its scales shimmered in the golden light, its yellow eyes locked onto him. Elias instinctively froze, knowing sudden movement could provoke an attack. But instead of lunging, the beast let out a snort and tilted its head in curiosity. For some reason, it wasn't immediately hostile. Perhaps, in this strange moment of time travel, he carried no scent that the dinosaur recognized as prey. Before he could process his fortune, a rustle in the undergrowth made him spin around. A velociraptor, smaller yet no less deadly, emerged from the foliage. Its long, sickle-like claws tapped against the earth as it observed Elias and the Tarbosaurus. The two predators regarded each other, but rather than attack, they seemed tolerant of one another's presence. Elias realized he was witnessing something rare perhaps, an uneasy truce between predators that only time travelers could disturb. Days turned to weeks as Elias adapted to life in the prehistoric Gobi. He had no choice but to coexist with these ancient rulers. The Tarbosaurus, whom he nicknamed Khur, Mongolian for king, roamed the land like a shadow, never straying too far. Meanwhile, the Velociraptor, whom he called Tooth, was a cunning survivor, often scavenging from Khur's kills or hunting smaller creatures. Through trial and error, Elias learned the rhythm of this world. He fashioned primitive tools, observed dinosaur behavior, and even avoided a close encounter with a pack of hungry dromaeosaurs. Khur, despite his predatory nature, seemed to accept Elias's presence. The massive theropod would sometimes let out a low rumble when Elias drew too close, but never attacked. Elias suspected it was either a sign of tolerance or mere indifference. Tooth, on the other hand, was different. Curious and intelligent, the raptor often watched him from a distance. One night, Elias woke to find Tooth standing over him, inspecting his backpack. The creature had figured out that Elias was no ordinary part of the ecosystem. Elias's survival instincts told him one thing: he couldn't stay here forever. If the crystal had brought him to this time, then perhaps it could take him back. One morning, he retraced his steps to the site where he'd first arrived. The glowing crystal still pulsed beneath the earth. As he reached for it, a roar echoed through the jungle. Khur had followed him. The massive Tarbosaurus stopped a few feet away, its nostrils flaring. Tooth appeared as well, cautiously staying at a distance. Elias hesitated. He had grown attached to this place, to these creatures. He had walked among them, not as a conqueror, but as an observer. And now he was about to leave them behind. With one last glance at the magnificent beasts, he gripped the crystal. The world blurred in a vortex. Elias awoke in the Gobi Desert once more, the sun baking the sands around him. His equipment remained untouched, his footprints the only sign of his existence. Had it all been real? He reached into his pocket and pulled out something small, a single feather, unmistakably from a velociraptor. His heart pounded. It had been real. Elias Carter had lived among the dinosaurs, and he alone carried the truth of their ancient world. And perhaps, one day, he would find his way back again,